he's been receiving negative criticism, Mike. You know? Do you
What a
know?
segue. What a
Man,
segue.
ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, hit him with it.
we are 2 weeks into the year. 2 weeks into the year, right?
Yep.
It's 2023. However, we got some updates on Ubisoft, and I must say, oh man, it's not looking good for Ubisoft. I've been
They're
seeing
in a crisis.
they really are. That's not even an exaggeration either. Like it is. I'm praying for him. Because I kind of want, I want Assassin's Creed to do well. I want these games to do well. Anyways, Ubisoft held an emergency call with investors on Wednesday. So this is the 10th of January to reveal that the company's 2022 sales had fallen well below expectations and that it would be taking drastic measures going forward, including canceling 3 more unannounced games, delaying Skull and Bones for a few months yet again. This actually falls into next year now that Skull and Bones is going to be coming out 2024. And cutting roughly $215 million in costs over the next 2 years, with some of the savings coming from a smaller headcount at the over 20,000 person publisher.
Jeez.
Man, okay. Ubisoft CEO said, "Today, more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure get back to the path of success." He wrote this in an email to staff. "I'm also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives. Sure, we're being as efficient and lean as possible." Now, if you get, all right, I'm gonna pause right there for a second. Like, if you get an email from your supervisor saying that, what is your reaction?
Okay, so if it's the supervisor, I'm thinking, okay, he wants to make the team look good and he wants to have the team like good performance metrics because the supervisor wants to get a promotion. What's this promotion based on? The people underneath him. Okay, cool. When the CEO sends that message, I'm updating my resume. I'm going to LinkedIn. I'm calling some buddies. I'm calling the publisher down the road. We're building a safety net, okay? Because if you can get out, okay, you might want to, man.
Yeah.
They said he sent it to all the employees. We're asking be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives.
Sound
What
good,
does that
Mike.
mean? What does that mean?
Oh,
Bill your hours accordingly to the right projects.
it
That's what
means
that means.
we're belly up, baby. You better be making sure you do some work. Lots of
Oh my
publishers,
gosh.
faced game delays during the pandemic, but Ubisoft was hit harder than most. Skull and Bones, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and Assassin's Creed Mirage were all, at one time or another, expected to ship by the end of last year. CEO told staff that these delays have weighed on our cost and decreased our associated revenues. Sorry. The company is now projecting, ready for this? The company is now projecting
Oh,
a roughly $537 million loss for the fiscal year ending in March 2023. That's $500 million, Mike. My gosh.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
Was all their money tied up in crypto?
it makes you think that,
Like,
right?
how do you lose
Like,
that
dude,
much?
that's a lot of money, bro. Oh, man. All right.
Oh my goodness.
This article goes on a little more to talk about Skull and Bones because it was one of the key points here. They said, and I quote, this is my favorite quote in this whole article. You ready? While Skull and Bones is now complete, while it's now complete, mark that, we are using the remaining time until our launch to leverage feedback from our ongoing technical tests and upcoming open beta to polish and balance the experience. This is a spokesperson for Ubisoft that told Kotaku in an email. To fully deliver on this launch, we are leveraging the full power of co-developing studios around already involved in the development process, including Ubisoft Paris studio. Ubisoft Singapore remains the lead studio on Skull and Bones, and the team is working full speed on the game experience and the development of its robust post-launch content. Oh,
All right.
man.
All right, Kyle, let me ask you.
All right, I'm ready.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being total BS and 10 being you believed everything there, where are you at?
You ever been to Olive Garden, Mike? You ever get the breadsticks? You ever get the breadsticks?
Oh, no, you're at
Oh,
1?
dude. I might be, not gonna lie.
I
Maybe
was
I'm
gonna give it a
exaggerating, but
I'm
still,
gonna
it's
give
like,
it a
yeah, like, I don't know. This is my thing.
uh,
Using the rhetoric complete
That's
and,
not the
and
word.
and having to delay it into 2024 at this point,
Yeah, that ain't the word.
it's just not complete. And I mean, sure, you could be like far along in development, but like, I mean, if you're having to delay it into next year, you can't like you can't be that far in development. I feel like. I mean, it's just like, or there has to be like what you have is a pile of crap. Can't
Yeah.
like you just can't like polish it. There's like a lot of like structural changes that probably have to happen to get that game back up and running. So I don't know. I find it hard to believe that the game's complete. I just I you know I maybe that's cynical, but I think it's just reality at this point that there's just like a lot of stuff wrong with the game. So that's why they keep delaying it. Um, they said there's going to be open betas. Who knows? That may fall under this year, or we may get like an open beta or two. I hope. I mean, that'd be interesting to see. But I really hope that it is at least playable in that open beta. Um, but and it says they're trying to develop robust post-launch content. I'm all for post-launch content, but if the game is getting delayed this much, that's my last thought. You know, that's the last thing I'm worried about. You know, um, where and this is that's part of the thing that scares me too, because so many games. I feel like games now. This is the problem. I've discovered it. Eureka. Most games nowadays are so focused on their post-launch seasons and their post-launch content,
Yeah.
they're forgetting about the base game. And it's like you gotta we need a foundation here, and that is the
Exactly.
base game.
Yeah, release it first and hope it works. Hope people buy it, and then keep updating it and call it a live service game. And it's
Like,
not going to be a complete game until 2 years from after your release.
yeah. And also, not every game can be a live service game. I think we've learned that. So it's just like, oh man. Anyways, I'll continue a
Oh,
little bit more on the article. It's quite the read, but another important thing. So you may be asking yourself, Mike, how's Ubisoft going to recover? How are they going to deal with these losses? So to deal with the losses, Ubisoft has now canceled 3 more unannounced games, in addition to the 4 that were previously canceled last year. It's also written off around $537 million of R&D costs associated with upcoming and canceled games, and the company is planning to slice roughly $215 million in costs from its operating budget over the next 2 years. This will be achieved through targeted restructuring, divesting,
investing.
divesting some non-core assets and usual natural attrition. I love these words. Ubisoft continues to look at hiring highly talented people for its biggest brands and live services. 3 current and former Ubisoft developers who wish to remain anonymous because they are not authorized to speak about company plans recently told Kotaku that they are already seeing cuts by way of fewer backfills for recently departed colleagues and fewer contracts getting renewed for those working on a temporary basis. They also said there were layoffs across some of Ubisoft's US locations last fall, including its San Francisco office. A spokesperson for Ubisoft said only 27 positions were eliminated as part of its, quote, restructuring. Believing
Oh, no.
people, it's just like you're hearing these stories from the inside. People on the inside are like, it's just not looking good. It's very evident that there's issues. It's not just like, it's not just like, oh, we hear it from the CEO, so it's bad. It's like, we've been noticing it, kind of thing. So
Yeah, it's like we noticed it for a while, and then the CEO had to address it, which is the whole reason he sent out the email to everybody.
yeah,
I've seen those emails before in businesses that were failing. It's not a good sign.
yeah,
Um, some context here. It's like the 537 million that they're going to be written off as R&D costs. I'm pretty sure R&D costs, research and development, is a tax write-off because the U.S. government, obviously, 537 million for Ubisoft. There are multiple different governments in different countries under different governments. I should have said, but the R&D costs are usually like some type of tax write-off. So who knows if it's actually R&D and it's just like regular operating costs of having inefficiencies to where you're not making any money. You're not finishing games, man.
no.
7 games canceled in the last year.
Never heard of that ever. You know what I
7?
mean? Like 7? God,
Holy crap! All unannounced games, dude. Just make a Splinter Cell. What are you doing? Like, You'll make your money back.
Do we need more? You know, they're
But
working. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Ubisoft. They're working on a Splinter Cell game, or they was announced they were working on one, right?
who knows? It could have been one of the canceled ones. They're unannounced apparently.
I don't know.
Who knows what that means?
I mean that one. I think that one was announced though, so I don't know if it would fall into that.
Yeah, that,
But
yeah.
anyways, I mean that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, um, I I would hate to see Ubisoft go because they've made a lot of good IP and they've made a lot of amazing games. But it's like eh, you need you either I don't even I don't want to blame upper management. It's so easy to blame upper management, but it's like who's steering the ship here? Like what are we doing? You know?
Yeah, this ain't just upper management. This is like a poison an entire company. Like this is a multi-billion-dollar company, man.
Yeah.
They had revenue of last year of two. I pulled up their wiki. This is how I know this. They had 20,000 employees, over 20,000 employees, and 2.125 billion euros last year. That's wild. That's a lot of money. That's
Yeah.
like not the sea level messes that up. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
just like fundamentally they've been making poor mistakes for years. And I
So it
think
seems.
like interest rates going through the roof, the economy being all wonky. It's like yeah, I think they're getting exposed, man. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, very well could be. All I will say is this: we're gonna look at this from a year from now, and it's gonna go one of two ways. It's gonna be the biggest downfall in game development history, or it's gonna be the biggest comeback in game development history. I hope it's the latter. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, dude, here's one thing I want to mention before we go on to the next article, which is a little bit brighter. But this right here, I pulled up their stock ticker, the Ubisoft Entertainment ADR. I think is this on the? I'm pretty sure this is on the New York Stock Exchange.
think so.
No, it's
Was it?
OTC. What's OTC?
Oh,
What's OTC?
I don't know.
I forgot. I used to know this when I cared. Let's see if I can find it.
I have
Over the
no
counter
idea.
or off exchange trading.
Off
Um,
exchange.
yeah, whatever. It's not an exchange, but you can still buy shares, I guess. Year over year, so this time last year, they had what is this, $12 a share. It's now going for 442. So they're down 57% just from last January.
God.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
they're not
rough.
making games and they're firing, well, letting people go, really. Good grief, man. But yeah, we did call the Skull and Bones just for the record.
We did.
Um,
We
let
did.
the record show.
And particularly
Last
Mike.
we talked it, and I said it ain't happening. It's never gonna happen. I mean, the guts to say it is now complete, but we're gonna use the remaining time until our launch to leverage feedback from ongoing technical tests. What does that even mean? In an upcoming open beta to polish and balance the experience. If you need to polish and balance the experience, it's not complete. Why? Complete to me does not mean the same for this anonymous spokesperson for Ubisoft, right?
It just doesn't. Yeah. There's I know they can't say much, but it's like, geez, make it make sense.
Well,